back to another awesome video. We're going to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 teaser. Now, I know it's only like a minute or less than a minute, but this teaser is really great. Let's just talk about it, and then I have a few things to speculate on, and then let's just kind of get through it, and then we'll share thoughts about what we think about the Five Nights at Freddy's trailer. I think this teaser looks really great. It gave us quick little snippets of things. Actually, it's a pretty good teaser, honestly. It gives you a little bit of inkling of what's going on in the story, but it doesn't give you everything, which is so good too. And it gives you the little images and little slivers of all the new toy animatronics from the second game. So my thing I'm thinking is that there's that last shot at the end with Freddy, specifically Toy Freddy, out and about, roaming around, walking around. And not only that, but we see other shots of, like, it looks like Mangle and Toy Bonnie are out in a school, probably presuming that it's Abby's school, maybe looking for Abby since she's kind of connected to these animatronics, and they're like, hey, I want to fix my friends, or they're out for Abby, and Vanessa even says there's something with Abby to Mike. So of course now this starts a ball and chain, a spiral, and a domino effect. And real quick, for anyone that doesn't know of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, the second game, weirdly enough, is a prequel in some sense, because I think it's like in the 80s or something. So with that being said, even though this movie version of the franchise, this Five Nights at Freddy's movies, are trying to set up its own timeline, I wouldn't put it past them if they kind of maybe borrowed from the games, because of course this movie timeline is going to borrow a little bit from the games and a little bit perhaps from the books, we shall see. But the point is, it's going to be a mixture, it's going to be a blender of things, of how this timeline is going to work and what is going to go into fruition and all this other stuff. However, I do think with this sequel, there could be a good chance of not necessarily it being a prequel, but I feel like it could borrow some things. Like, for example, the latest thing that the Five Nights at Freddy's games are teasing is this big event called Fall Fest. Something happened at Fall Fest back in 1970 something, where Afton debuted costume characters, and at this carnival event, festival, if you will, where walk-around characters were introduced of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and then maybe some other characters that may or may not have been there since the beginning of time. That's what we're going to probably perhaps see with Secret of the Mimic, or at least get something like that in Secret of the Mimic. The festival or a fair going on that we see Freddy at, the toy Freddy at, and I think that could be perhaps Fall Fest. And not only that, but I think there's going to be an interesting twist to it too. These animatronics are walking around, roaming around outside the pizzeria. So I'm wondering if there is a possibility that, which this is the obvious answer, is that you can say that these animatronics just somehow decide to escape Freddy's, but I think the thing is with the pizzeria, they are meant to roam around that area, but they can't leave the actual place. Although we did see Golden Freddy somehow sneak out, but I like to kind of speculate the idea instead and kind of have more fun with this idea that what if during Fall Fest, Afton was on his high prime, wanting to debut the latest and greatest in technology, and that is walk around animatronics. Kind of like, if you think about it, kind of like how nowadays, day and age, technology is doing, kind of like mimicking that in a sense. Because nowadays technology, we have roaming around animatronics. Like, think about those little droids from Hollywood Studios, or even Muppet Labs with Beaker and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. That was animatronic, and that was operated remote control-y. And also the other new little initiatives that Disney and now Universal's doing with the dragons, the How to Train Your Dragons. Now they're doing those as roaming around walking animatronics. So I think it'd be kind of interesting if Afton developed that technology at such a young time in let's say just 77, for the sake of just saying when Fall Fest happened. And perhaps maybe something went wrong, and people then said, you know what, Mr. Afton, we have to cut you off, and therefore maybe Afton had to put away the toy animatronics and make way for the other animatronics that we see in the first movie, or maybe in future installments. Who knows? Just a little thing to kind of speculate on, and I just think that would be kind of interesting, and that'd be kind of neat, because I feel like that would be a flashback it would be a sheer coincidence if all of a sudden a fair was going on in current time in the movie, but I feel like that would be so much more cooler. It would have more references to the games in a little bit, and maybe for anyone that may or may not catch them, it'd be super cool. But that is just my quick thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, if not every week. Make sure you ring that bell. I do new videos every day week. Share the video with your family and friends, all the good stuff and more. Leave some suggestions down in the comments. You name it, I'll do it as best as possible. Look out for more movie reviews, look out for more top 10s, look out for more TV shows, more things we will be covering and talking about throughout this year. Sometimes I know what I have planned, but sometimes I like to keep you guys on your feet and on your toes of what's next. So thank you guys so much for watching. Look out for more, and I'll see you all next time.